Okay.
But what if they're not there yet?
Okay.
All
right. Let me
Penis.
grab the link to the show.
Penis. Fill in. Ha-ha! I've kind of got Alex doing that now.
What?
Ha-ha!
Oh.
All right, here we go. Alien invasion. All right, bam. Alien invasion over here.
Oh.
Bam. All right, we're on Alpha Geek Radio, so let's get the show on the road. I've got the intro ready to go. So how about we just not waste any more time and start this thing, all right?
Okay.
Here we go.
Boop.
You are listening to Alpha Geek Radio.
The following is a production of Galactic Netcasts.
We interrupt this program to give you a bulletin just received from one of our naval units at sea. A large object traveling at supersonic speed is headed over the North Atlantic toward the east coast of the United States.
This earth of yours will be reduced to a burned out cinder.
This could be the beginning of the end for the human race. Human beings cower before the onslaught of these unearthly enemies.
Why, hello there. It's Thursday, March 31st, final day of March 2016. And welcome to the Alien Invasion number 179. It's a podcast from Galactic Netcasts. I'm Dave Nelson. Joining me, as always, Brad Ludwig and Anessa Moyens. What's up, guys?
Not
Monkey
much.
butt.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh,
What?
hey.
Sorry.
One person at a time.
What's up, monkey butt?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Right? No? Okay.
I don't have a follow-up to that.
I think, you know what? I think we may have just set a record for fastest title.
Oh.
in the history of the Alien Invasion. What's up, monkey butt?
It's like the reject version of the draft version of What's New Pussycat. No, that won't sell. Let's do What's New Pussycat instead. Yeah, I like that better. Okay.
Print. Okay. Hey, welcome everybody to the show where we talk about beings from elsewhere in the universe and their appearances in film, TV, video games, comic books, science, and in real life. The show is broken down into three areas: the news, the sightings feature, and our picks for the week. So let's get it going with the news.
In the news.
Oh yeah, looks like Anessa has the first story, and I'm excited to talk about this because I found it for you, and I thought it would be perfect
did.
for the type of story that you do.
Indeed. So this is gonna be read like an interview. So just bear with me. I did delete quite a bit because it is rather lengthy, but food connects us all, extraterrestrials included. And this came from munchies.vice.com. Ta-da! So anyway, to celebrate the CIA officially releasing a peek into their X-Files and this year's Contact in the Desert UFO conference in Joshua Tree, California, Munchies spoke with Laura Magdalene Eisenhower, a medical astrologist, global alchemist, cosmic mythologist, and the great-granddaughter of President Dwight D. Eisenhower, about the role that food and drink plays in aligning your energies, quote, to help bring in sky beings.
Okay. There's a lot going on there.
There is a lot, and I had to cut out a lot, but I tried to preserve her responses as best as I could to capture what she's trying to get across, but you really got to go check out the story and read the entire thing.
And we'll have the link in the show notes if you want to do that.
Yep. So, for those of you who are not up to snuff with your alien conspiracy theory history, President Eisenhower was believed to have signed a treaty with aliens in 1953. An authority on the subject of aliens and cosmic energy, Laura is believed to have signed Laura is now carrying on the family tradition by leading a few workshops at Contact, one of which is titled, quote, ET Agendas, Positive Contact, AI, and Timelines. So Munchie's first question is, I hear you have figured out an appropriate diet to summon aliens and other sky beings. Is this true? Yes, it's true. Ever since the early 90s, I've been researching people's response to the environment. What I've discovered is that there are multiple factors, things like your emotional, physical, and mental reactions, and we are being affected by all levels. It's not just about looking after your diet. We also have to pay attention to our thought forms and the quality of our water energy, since we are mostly water. I had no idea that we had water energy. I just want to add that. So, anyway.
Well, duh. Come on.
Where have I been? For our readers who don't know who or what a sky being is, can you give us a quick rundown on them? Well, we are multidimensional beings. Everybody's got their experiences, so it is hard for somebody to maybe comprehend other beings besides what we've come across in our physical reality. There are some people who have abduction experiences with extraterrestrials. There are some people who have seen UFOs, other people who have seen fairies or elves, and other people who have experiences with angels or spirit guides, or other people like me that haven't really seen anything. We understand that based on our frequency, perceptions, and our vibratory levels that we are functioning from, we are going to see different things. It is not always going to be things that other people are capable of seeing.
Does anybody else want to throw up yet?
Almost.
It's one of those things, like, she says things that to me, kind of make sense in that we are all different people. We all experience different things. Like, what one person will experience, another person doesn't. But then she tends to kind of go a little too far out for me.
Yeah.
Or way far out in some cases. But anyway, so in case you're wondering, what kind of sky being friendly foods did you have for breakfast today? I had an Ezekiel tortilla with eggs and potatoes. I like to have eggs. I like the protein. Brad just put his face in his hand and is like, I'm done. All right. So what other kind of foods or drinks are best to attract sky beings? I love kombucha. I drink a lot of alkaline water. Juicing is really important too. We want to have a healthy flora in our digestive tract because this keeps our immune system in a high vibration. Why do you think that vegan or vegetarian food is better suited to attract sky beings? It's a cleaner and purer energy. I don't like to say what you should and shouldn't eat when it comes to meat, but you will be at a better capacity to relate to higher dimensional beings because your body won't be as weighed down by gravity. I'm sorry. I don't know why I found that bit so funny.
No, you weren't the only one.
I'm sorry, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but all right. So when you are dealing with eating animals, it is a heavier density to process in our physical bodies. When we eat veggies, we are lighter, so we can connect easier with higher beings. Excuse me. I have seen your viral video in which you explain how the ET invasion has already occurred and that governments do not want us to know. Do you think ETs have infiltrated our food and water system? Yeah, just look at GMOs. Our food has been altered in a way to dumb us down and keep our bodies sick and inhibit our DNA activations. There is a negative ET agenda that has been in the works for a long time, but we don't want to make the situation all about something that is foreign to us. And she goes on later to say that there has been agreements and collaborations with dark entities, though when we are following a positive path, we will attract angels and higher dimensional extraterrestrials. I'm not sure what higher dimensional extraterrestrials are, because I would imagine they'd be more like angels.
I don't know what any of this means.
I don't know. Oh, do extraterrestrials need to eat too? Well, the Greys absorb energy through their body like a plant, so they don't. They lost their reproductive capacities. Then there are EBEs, extraterrestrial biological entities, which I'm going to pause from the paragraph for a second. The thing that really bothers me about this isn't Greys extraterrestrial biological entities? Aren't they not from this world, making them extraterrestrial?
You would think, yes.
At least that's what I've always understood Greys to be.
But
So,
maybe she
and
knows
I'm gonna be honest with you, it was at this point that she kind of lost me.
Okay.
Surprise! I lasted that long. I did read the entire thing. So, anyway, then there are reptilians who supposedly eat humans, but I don't want to scare anybody. We are all multidimensional beings, so we're dealing with a huge food chain. I'm not an expert in their diet, but it's something that people still need to do some research on. It's good to encourage research.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way to prevent getting eaten by reptilians and avoid being part of this intergalactic food chain?
Spicy things.
Then I'm set, unless they dig spicy food. So she took a 4-second break to answer. By being conscious when you wake up in the morning to when you fall asleep at night, energy is food. What are you emitting into your environment? What is the quality of your words and expression? What are you allowing into your body? What kind of people are you hanging out with? We are all in a relationship with life. So if we have a relationship to something negative, chemical, artificial, or just non-pure, that is going to affect your physical body. Just be conscious and end agreements that aren't healthy for you, and start to inspire yourselves to have a healthy relationship with food and people. Food carries a charge and frequency, so it can be programmed just like water. The better we eat and the more we take care of ourselves, the more we can recognize the benevolent forces out there versus those energies out there that wish to enslave us or compromise us. I would say that your diet is crucial in order for you to have this level of clarity. Not a lot of people know this, but I think it's incredibly important.
Okay. There's some really good stuff here. But the problem is when she combines the two things. Like, it's very interesting what she said about the Greys and the reptilians and the extraterrestrial biological entities. But then she gets into nutrition, and it's like she was a nutritionist who all of a sudden started believing in aliens, extraterrestrials, and thought, you know what, I can combine these two.
Well, and she listed in her list of things that she is or does, one of those is a medical astrologist. So maybe that includes nutrition. But no, like and even like that last paragraph, what she's talking about, I do think that it taking out the vibration stuff and whatnot, it is a good message. Like, you do need to take care of yourself. You do need to watch what you eat. You do need to, try to be around more positive people and not just, bad influence or negative people. And so that message there at the end, I thought was really positive and legit for the most part. It's just the weird charge and frequency and whatnot that I think could be left out.
Muddies it up with just a little bit too much weirdness.
So, but no, okay. So, and here's where, like, I'm gonna mention what I had mentioned earlier, that I was gonna talk about someone on the show. And one of the questions that I asked him was if he was a vegetarian, because TC, if you guys remember, like a couple weeks back, had submitted feedback. Do you remember him, Dave?
I briefly, vaguely. Refresh our memories.
Okay. Well, he's added myself and Brad on Facebook. I don't know if he's sent you a friend request yet. And he had this weird experience where he ended up the same night. Well, okay. So he woke up one morning and he had a series of small dots that kind of look like maybe iodine stains on the hand.
Yeah, I remember this.
Like, yeah. So he, like if you took a toothpick, dipped it in iodine, and then like went dot 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 all the way down your thumb, but they don't itch. They're not like actual bumps. They're just little spots. He doesn't know where they came from. They lasted for several days. But that same night, he had a strange dream or strange dreams, where there was this being, and he couldn't look at this being because of how bright it was. And I was actually really curious to see if if I could make a connection between what this person is saying, what I forget her name, Laura, what Laura Eisenhower is saying, if I could make a connection between his diet and his experience with what she's saying, would it attract these sky beings, if that makes sense. Do you see what I'm trying to do?
Yeah, you're basically taking what she's saying and applying it to a
real life subject, a real life person. And he was really cool. I asked him if I could talk about this on the show, if I could bring up his experience with the dots, and he said yes. But I did ask him a question. I'm like, this is going to be kind of random. But I asked him if he was a vegan or a vegetarian, and he said, no, I like my steaks too much. So clearly his diet didn't attract whatever happened to him. I mean, as far as like if it was a sky being, but it was a really interesting coincidence, I thought, that he would have this weird dream and wake up with a series of dots on his thumb that lasted for days. And so I wanted to ask our listeners if anyone has experienced anything similar, like if you're out in the woods and you see this person and you're trying to approach them and then you can't stare at them because they're too bright, or maybe you're in your room in your house and something similar happens. Like, has that happened to you before? And then you wake up and you find these strange spots on your body that eventually fade away.
Yeah.
I'm just curious if that's happened to anybody, because I don't know if it's just some weird, maybe allergic reaction that he's had to something, or maybe if he has had some sort of alien encounter.
Yeah, that's just a weird coincidence. Those
So
happening around the same time.
yeah, and when he when he initially sent me the message, he was, very much like, I know this is gonna sound really, really strange, and he just kind of goes into what happened, but this isn't something that he has experienced before and was really weirded out about. So, and I would be too. It would be a weird coincidence. So I'm just curious if anyone's ever experienced something similar, and if they have, if they'd like to send us an email or leave us a voicemail.
Yeah.
Contact us.
Email address is aliens@gncasts.com. That's aliens@gncasts.com. The voicemail number is 805-328-3966. You can comment on the YouTube video of our podcast, or @reply us on Twitter. You can actually send us a private message too. We don't have to be followers of each other. Just trying to think of the other ways that they can make a comment on our Facebook page.
You can tweet.
Numerous ways.
Yeah, there's all sorts of ways. But yeah, if you have experienced anything, or maybe you have a sibling or a spouse or something that experienced something similar, we'd love to hear about it. So yeah, and he's really looking forward to seeing if there's any feedback regarding this, if there's anyone else that's experienced this sort of thing. So I just want to say thank you to TC from Arkansas, or Arkansas, as I've heard British people say.
Oh, those British people. Those silly British people.
I know. They're wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
So
Daryl Johnston is very good representation of the typical, no, maybe he's not typical British person.
But he's a good representation of.
Yeah. I almost forgot I have to let Growly Bear know that we're live. Growly Bear on Twitter, he likes to watch us do the show live. So You guys talk amongst yourselves as I send him a message on Twitter right now.
Sounds good. Hi, Girly Bear.
Brad, do you want to mention where people can follow us on the social networks?
Sure.
He's turned off his mic.
Sorry, I had to turn my mic off earlier. Sure. You can check us out at a number of places. You can follow us at Galactic Netcasts on Twitter. You can follow our Facebook page. Actually, our Facebook group page is the best way to find us, and you can just do a search on Facebook for the Galactic Netcasts group page, and you can find us there. We're on the YouTubes. God, I gotta stop doing that. We're on YouTube.
I do that too. I'm on the Facebooks, I'm on the Twitters, I'm on the YouTubes.
We're YouTube.com/Galactic Netcasts.
And just as a correction, on Twitter it's Galactic Netcast without the S.
Oh, that's right. It's singular on Twitter.
Yeah.
Saving character space.
Yeah. If Twitter didn't have a limitation on their names, it could have been Galactic Netcast, but no.
They ruin everything.
Yeah. All right, Brad, thank you. Let's continue on with the news. 20th Century Fox announces Alien Day. I'm so excited about this because, you got your record store day, you got your free comic book day, you got your May the 4th be with you, right? You got Pi Day, all these cool days. Now Alien has its own day. It's a global celebration of the Alien franchise set for April 26th, which anyone know the significance of that date, April 26th? Or I guess the number.
426.
That's not lighted up.
It's LV 426.
Yes, LV 426. That's the planet from the Aliens, right? Or was it Alien?
That was Alien.
Alien.
Okay. So the day will have nationwide screenings of movies, the release of never-before-seen products, and the start of the Alien Ultimate Trivia Challenge, which will allow fans to win prizes every 42.6 minutes on Twitter. There's got to... Oh, okay. I was about to ask what the significance of that is. I'm so not smart sometimes. Reebok is also releasing the Alien Stomper worn by Sigourney Weaver as Ellen Ripley. Those shoes, and the mid-tops worn by Lance Hendrickson as the android Bishop. But that's not all. There's more. There will also be a Lieutenant Vasquez and Newt figure from NECA, as well as Kenner toy-inspired Ellen Ripley figure. More figures in the form of the Alien Queen and Power Loader, and Ripley set in Funko's reaction series. What's Funko's reaction series, Brad? You're the Funko expert on the show.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, are they the... Oh, okay. They're just like action figures.
Yeah, they're like action figures that for franchises or things that never got action figures.
Okay. Oh, that's neat.
So you've got like Halloween themed action figures or Friday the 13th.
I'm going to do a screen share here.
Okay, if you're watching us on YouTube later on, or if
I didn't realize that those were
I didn't realize that those were Funko.
Because I've seen them at the stores before, but
so here we are looking at some of these action figures. We've got Chestburster Kane, and it actually, if you look at it, there's the aliens popping out of his chest.
Yep. They're awesome.
They've got Ash Dallas, Facehugger Kane, Kane in the spacesuit, and they've also got some of the Arrow action figures, Back to the Future, Big Trouble in Little China. So it's basically, like I said, franchises or things that didn't really get an action figure line.
Now, if you're just listening to the podcast, you can see what Brad was showing us on our YouTube video. We've got a YouTube channel, which you mentioned already.
Heck yeah, we do.
Yep. Cool. So where was I? Oh, there's comics too. As for literature, Dark Horse Comics will feature exclusive covers at participating retailers for the ongoing Alien series, and a deluxe 30th anniversary hardcover version of the original Alien series from 1986. Meanwhile, Titan Books is launching a brand new novel, Alien Invasion. Hey, that sounds familiar. The Rage War Book 2 by Tim Leben. If audio is more your thing, Alien Out of the Shadows is a brand new drama on Audible starring Rutger Hauer, Matthew Lewis, and Corey Johnson. Who's Corey Johnson? That name sounds really familiar. Corey Johnson. Did somebody click on that? Because my computer will totally freeze up if I do. That actor's name sounds really familiar.
Sure, now I can't
Oh,
find
it's that guy.
It's one of those guys.
It's one of those guys. All right, hang on. Let me pull up his IMDb. But, oh, there's a little Wikipedia blurb. It says Corey Johnson is an American character actor largely active in the UK, best known for his supporting roles in Hellboy, Kingsman, The Secret Service, Captain Phillips, The Bourne Ultimatum, Kick-Ass, a bunch of other stuff.
Anything that would...
He was in Doctor Who episode Dalek.
Oh, he played the crime. He was like the crime boss, I think. In it was like 1930s New York.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
here, I'm about to pull up.
Oh, Laszlo.
Oh, please.
Sorry.
It's this gentleman here.
Oh, okay. Yep,
Oh, no, he was the dude that collected. I'm thinking of a different guy. He was the one that collected the Dalek. And this is the first, or not the first Doctor, but number 9, Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah.
Those uber rich guy that had collected all this space stuff.
It was the first episode with the Rebirth series
of the Daleks. Yeah.
It was the first time they showed the Daleks in the new version of Doctor Who back in 2009. Okay. Cool. All right. So Alien Days Twitter trivia contest will be run by the Alien Anthology account on Twitter. And to take part, you'll need to register your Twitter handle at alienanthology.com. Simply reply to the questions on Twitter using the hashtags hashtag AlienDay426 and hashtag contest to be in for a chance to win. Win what? I have no idea.
Stuff.
So what I want you guys to do right now is grab your phone or launch your calendar wherever it may be and put in on April 26th, Alien Day, and we can all celebrate together. That's going to be fun. All right, cool. Where was I here? Okay. Before we move on to the third and final story, just a quick reminder that you can help us pay for things. I know that sounds like we're trying to make money off of what we're doing with Galactic Netcast, and that's far from the truth. It'd be cool someday that we would, make a lot of money off what we're doing here, but we're being realistic. We need to pay for things that need to get paid for. For example, our website. We have a certain amount of money that we pay every month for that space, for that web space. We have audio hosting now at Podbean, and we need that covered as well. And how we're doing that is with Patreon, the Patreon website, Patreon, patreon.com/Galactic Netcasts. And you can pledge as little as $1 a month, and we have rewards at all of our levels right now. Okay? So pledge $1 a month. That will get you exclusive access to our Slack chat group, or our Slack chat channel, and you can talk to us during the recording of the show, or you can talk to us anytime, basically, on our Slack channel. That's for $1 a month. $3 a month will get you the newsletter related with stories related to what we talk about here on the Alien Invasion. In fact, we just sent out the March newsletter a couple days ago with a whole bunch of cool stories. That's at the $3 level. For $5 a month, you'll get the extra podcast, and we have to record that next week. Just a heads up, guys.
Okay.
So all that can be yours. All that and more can be yours by helping us pay for the stuff that we need to get paid for at patreon.com/galactic netcasts. We'll have the link in the show notes. And our next place that we want to get to is enough money to pay for advertising. So maybe we can get a live read on Brad and I's favorite other podcast that we listen to, the Morning Stream. That'd be cool, right?
Morning Stream, yes, it would.
Maybe you do a week blitz, because
Yeah.
I know how advertising, you and I have been in radio for a long, long time, so we know how advertising works. It's good to have, what's that called, where you have a lot?
Frequency,
yes. So that's our next level that we want to get to. So go to patreon.com/galactic netcasts if you want to help us get to that level and support the Galactic Network, Netcast network of podcasts. Okay, here we go. Final story in the news. What you got there, Brad?
What I have is a story that you actually, I almost went with a different story, but you shared this one with me, and I like it a bit better. And this story is how we, as human beings, could possibly hide planet Earth from bloodthirsty aliens.
Hide the whole damn planet?
Hide the whole damn planet.
Wow.
But what if they're already here, according to Laura?
Yeah.
Well, then we're already screwed.
Reptilians are going to eat your babies.
Yes.
Just like the dingoes.
And your face. Gonna eat your face.
The dingo ate your baby. Sorry.
No. My baby's in the other room and he's now 14.
The dingo will eat your baby.
That's a powerful dingo.
That's it. It can go back in time and can consume my child.
Time traveling dingoes. Next week on Sci-Fi.
Yeah, that would be a Sci-Fi Channel movie, wouldn't it?
Yep.
I would watch it.
Dr. Dingo.
Hitler would have to be involved somehow.
Probably.
Where's Hitler? All right. So now that we've Godwinned our own podcast, say humans have long dreamed of discovering intelligent life beyond the Earth, but the truth is we have no way of knowing if an alien civilization is friendly or hostile. So here's what they propose. A laser cloaking device. Now, you may say, that sounds really weirdly sci-fi and probably not possible. But let me tell you, it can be. See, the idea is if we wanted to hide ourselves from prying aliens searching for planets to strip mine, we could do so by firing a laser beam at the precise moment Earth crosses in front of the sun from the perspective of other stars lying along the same plane. By doing so, we'd cancel out Earth's transit. Now, what is Earth's transit? That would be the Earth passing in front of the sun from somebody else's perspective. So, like how we track exoplanets. Basically, in this case, an alien civilization, we would be an exoplanet. And they would obviously be searching for us by using telescopes or possibly searching for us with telescopes. So what they're saying is if we had a very I'll tell you how powerful it needs to be in just a second, but they're saying if we fired off a very potent beam of light, it wouldn't look like we were passing in front of the sun. Okay, so the initial idea was about broadcasting a signal, changing the shape of transit to encode information. Now, this is from the study's co-author, Alex Tichy. That's a funny name of a professor. I was a graduate student, Tichy, at Columbia University. But then we took it a step further and realized you can effectively cloak your planet by modifying its transit. According to Ticci's math, blasting a 30-megawatt laser for about 10 hours once a year is enough to eliminate Earth's transit footprint in optical wavelengths. 30 megawatts is comparable to the energy collected by the International Space Station in a year. And if we're talking about the survival of human civilization, that's a goddamn bargain. Or maybe not. Oh, it's whatever. We could build this next week if we wanted to, Ticci said. It's totally feasible with current technology. If we're really paranoid, we could build a chromatic cloak effective at all wavelengths. But that would require an array of turnable lasers pulling about 250 megawatts of power. That still sounds like a bargain. But we have to be careful. Oh my God. A really good cloak could backfire. How would that backfire? If you cloak the entire planet, they might still be able to deduce that something is going on through radial velocity measurements. Imagine if humans found indirect evidence for a planet, but for some reason couldn't see the damn thing at all. We'd probably start paying very close attention. Kind of like our search for the ninth planet, the Planet X, essentially, that has been going around in the news.
Maybe they're cloaked.
Maybe they are cloaked. The cheapest cloaking device might actually be our best shot at going unnoticed for about 160 kilowatts. We could hide Earth's atmospheric signatures associated with biological activity and speaking, like oxygen and water vapor. Our planet could look totally boring. The atmospheric cloaking produces totally self-consistent observations, Ticci said. They see a planet, but they think it's just another dead world floating out in space. As is always the case when we're talking about aliens, caveats and assumptions abound. For one, turning this sort of cloaking device on after we've been discovered by hostile aliens might not work out so well. It's more of a preventative measure. Secondly, it's likely that any other intelligent civilizations out there are far more advanced than us, meaning they could have extremely sophisticated technology for pinpointing the location of Earth-like planets. So there you go.
So our technology may be too primitive to be able to hide us. They may have more advanced stuff going on.
Basically, Ticci's saying for equal to or less than technically savant's the wrong word here, but technically savvy, thank you, that's the word I'm looking for. Civilizations, we could cloak ourselves and not have much trouble. But if they are looking for us using, radio, we can do that now. But if they were using some other technology that we don't know about, it would be kind of pointless.
They're listening for our vibration.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
So there you have it.
No, that's very interesting. That's something we could do on the cheap. It's a DIY. Somebody make a YouTube how-to video on that.
Here's how you build a 30-megawatt laser.
Just get a whole bunch of those pen lasers and just have a bunch of people just holding them up in the sky. No?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that would quite work.
Well, I gave it a shot.
Because then we'd have all these pinpoints shooting out. Actually, I don't think they wouldn't even be powerful enough to get out of the atmosphere. So
no, probably not. And
they'd be good for stargazing.
They'd be good for something.
And bad for planes.
Yeah,
very bad for planes.
All right.
Don't do it. You'll get in trouble.
Let's move on to the next segment, shall we?
Please identify the craft you witnessed.
A black, triangular, three-dimensional shape, huge, just flying, hovering in it.
Shaped almost like between an egg and a teardrop.
Two long cylinder objects flying over me.
I could see the occupants in it.
It appeared to be rotating, and it was on circular and disc shape, and it hovered for maybe about 5 minutes.
Damn it! I just remembered I wanted to add that teletype sound to this.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Because that would be perfect for this, because I have another MUFON case number here.
Nice.
I could try to go pull my old Apple keyboard that's kind of clacky and just clack, 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 clack.
Why not? According to the witness in case number 71063 of the Mutual UFO Network, or MUFON. I forgot to give you guys the title. Rare multicolored square or cube-shaped UFO seen in Delaware.
It's so adorable.
Cute. So again, this was case number, just in case you were keeping track of all these, 71063. The witness and his wife had just left a birthday party in the suburban Wilmington area on April 15th, 2015, so almost a year ago. And were walking towards their parked car when the man looked up and noticed a bright, pulsating source of light in the sky. According to the witness, as I walked toward my automobile parked along the street, I noticed a bright and pulsating light. This article was very, very badly written, so I apologize for repeating that. To my left, about 1 mile away and about 40 degrees above the tree line. The object was pulsating, again, and changing color from blue to white to red to orange in a pattern that made it seem to be rotating, the witness continued. The UFO, according to the witness, was moving away from his position. It moved slowly with no deviation from its course and moved away from my position toward the north. I was excited by the object's presence and immediately asked my wife for her cell phone, he told MUFON. I was able to activate the camera activating, and filmed the object for a brief time. Some viewers of the video have commented that the multiple colors of the UFO and the impression that it made may have been displaying various colors by rotating, suggests it was a cube UFO rather than a square-shaped UFO. Compared with orb, triangle, and cigar-shaped UFOs, reports of sightings of square-shaped or related cube-shaped UFOs are so rare that occasional reports are often investigated with special occult significance by members of the UFO community. Many in the paranormal UFO community view the square and cube shapes as symbols of evil.
Dun, dun, dun. I'm sorry. One more time. As symbols of...
Okay, hang on. Many in the paranormal UFO community view the square and cube shapes as symbols of evil. Symbols of evil.
I can duet with myself. That's awesome.
So there was some other part of this that I wanted to read real quick that I don't have on our prep document here. I'm going to go back to the original article. They were very insistent that this is like evil. And this comes to us from the Inquisitor. INQUISITR. So give me a second here. As my computer locks up and we lose the recording. No. Okay. Where is it? Stand by, guys.
Standing by.
But are you really? Are you really standing by? Are you standing?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sitting on my tush.
But in your mind, you're standing, right?
Oh, totally.
Okay.
I could stand.
Oh, crap. Okay. So I don't know if one of you guys want to click on the link. Can you guys do that? I can't.
Trying to find my document here.
Okay, so we're trying to click the link at the bottom of your thing?
Yeah.
And then what?
And reading the first paragraph where it talks about being a symbol of evil. So I have a feeling there was more to it than the part that I included in the story.
Oh, okay. So many, I'll just read this sentence again. So many in the paranormal UFO community view the square and cube shapes as symbols of evil. And, strangely, a disproportionate number of sightings of square and cube-shaped UFOs have been reported in Texas.
Bam!
Ted Cruz, Rick Perry, Greg Abbott. Just saying. So the last major reported sighting of a square-shaped UFO, do you want me to continue reading?
Yeah, continue.
Okay, was in June 2014 by a witness in Austin, Texas, who reported to the Mutual UFO Network that he has sighted a square-shaped UFO with 4 lights. According to the witness, in a report filed in case number 57373, in MUFON's reporting database, the mysterious low-flying UFO had 4 lights and emitted a continuous low humming sound. The 4 lights of the UFO were also different colors, 2 red and 2 yellow. There was very little space between the lights, giving the appearance of a compact square, the witness said. But with regard to the latest square-shaped UFO sighting, suggestions that it may have been a cube recalls a viral video by UFO hunter Secure Team 10 that purported to show a black cube UFO spotted just after midday and filmed over El Paso, Texas in June 2015. Juarez. The appearance of the alleged black cube UFO has been preceded by the jet black swirling of clouds after it got rather windy. Maybe that's why there's such a cartel problem across the border from El Paso.
They're windy?
Yes.
And the evil aliens in their cube-shaped UFOs lurking around.
Maybe all the people in Juarez eat meat and are attracting the evil beings or something.
Yeah.
So, according to Secure Team 10, the swirling black clouds were an interdimensional wormhole. The video appears to show a massive cube-shaped UFO emerging from the alleged interdimensional wormhole manifestation. Quote, I am personally at a loss for words because this thing is mind-blowing, the video narrator, Tyler Glockner, said. We do not know what it is. Is it a craft or an entity from another dimension? Is it a probe sent here from a higher intelligence in another galaxy? While online debunkers such as Doubtful News rushed to declare the footage a hoax, UFO believers argued that because the cube-shaped UFOs are very rare, the manifestation of the cube UFO through a wormhole was a significant event. Many concluded that the cube-shaped UFO was a harbinger of evil or the culmination of a hologram R&D research project by the government ahead of inauguration of the evil Antichrist-led New World Order regime. Some argued that its emergence from a wormhole suggested it could be a scout ship from another dimension arriving ahead of a full-fledged alien invasion of Earth. The tendency to view sightings of square or cube-shaped UFOs as harbingers of evil arises from the belief among the paranormal UFO investigators that the cube is an occult symbol of the devil. Devil.
Yeah, got it. Interesting.
Cruella de Vil.
Thank you, Anessa. That I think that added a lot to the original report. I don't know why I didn't include that, but there's some good stuff there.
Yeah, I had no idea that a cube was viewed as an occult symbol of the devil.
I guess or
man, all those years of unintentionally like drawing demonic symbols in geometry class. I had no idea.
Could have been, yeah, exactly. All right, there you go. That's our sighting. If you want to know more about our podcast, you can go to gncasts.com/aliens. That's gncasts.com/aliens. That's the home of this podcast. The home of our network, Galactic Netcasts, can be found at gncasts.com without the /aliens. So just that's the distinguishation. No. I'm making up words.
We can't talk today.
That's the difference between the two. Main network, gncast.com, alien invasion, just tack on the /aliens and you'll be good to go. You'll be off to the races. All right. I need to make some kind of intro for picks and warnings. There you go. That'll work for now. Okay, so these are things we've watched, listened to, read, etc., related to aliens. They're either something that we think is awesome. If that's the case, it's a pick. If it's something terrible, that is a warning. And it looks like Anessa is up first.
I am. And it is a TV show that I found on, take a guess.
Does it start with an A?
Actually, no, it does not.
Does it start with an H?
H, yes. I found it on Hulu's. I know. Okay, so I came across this TV show called Paradox, and it is only one season long, and I was kind of bummed about that when I got to the end of the season. I'm like, no, there's a cliffhanger. But it is a show that appeared on the BBC back in 2009. And the premise of the show, it's more of a sci-fi thing because you don't really know where things are coming from. So I can't say for sure aliens. But the description on IMDb says, during a period of high activity on the sun, a physicist receives images in his lab that show an event that has yet to happen. Ta-da. And it's a sci-fi crime drama in a way, I suppose. But you have this astrophysicist that is monitoring the sun, the solar activities, coronal mass ejections, seeing when, just kind of watching to see if any of these solar flares are going to be pointed Earth direction. And at some point, he receives a series of images, and he notices on one of the images that there's like a timestamp for like later that day. And so he tries really hard to get the local law enforcement involved. So he calls a police station, asked if they can send one of their detectives over. As he puts it, someone with creativity, because he knows how ridiculous this is going to sound. And so they send over a DI, and she comes and she listens to what he has to say, and she's like, that's bollocks, and then she leaves. But then she thinks about it and she's talking to the other people, and she ends up picking out her team, like several of her coworkers, and they all go and they start to try to see if they can recognize these images. And they're not like a nice panoramic shot of where this event is going to happen. No, it's like, here's like 5 letters and half of one, and you have to figure out, you can tell that it's probably a street sign, but you don't know where the street sign is. And it's letters that are common in street names in the UK, INGH, because, you know, like, now I can't think of any names. But man, why can't I think of any names? So anyway, enough with the names. But so, and then you see like what looks to be maybe like a bridge that's been blown apart or something, because you see like the steel beams, and you'll see like a coffee cup on the asphalt, and you're supposed to try to piece together what's going to happen and try to prevent it from happening and figure out where it's going to happen. And you don't know if it's going to be like a terrorist attack or someone trying to murder somebody, or if it's just some bizarre accident. And so, yeah, that's pretty much the show. I really enjoyed it. Apparently, it wasn't that well received whenever it first aired, and so it never got a second season. So I guess technically this would be like a mini series, but it is available to watch on Hulu. And I recommend, you know, giving it at least the first episode, see if it's something you're interested in. I think it tends to get better as it goes along. Because, you know, a lot of times with the early start, it might be a little bumpy, and they start to get their groove with the characters, the characters' interaction. and you're just kind of left going, wow, I can't believe this character ended up this way. And it's like, it's kind of amazing, I think. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I recommend it.
So you only watched how many episodes?
I think it's 5 episodes, 5 or 6.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, British seasons tend to be on the short side anyway.
Yep.
I mean, Sherlock's only 3 episodes. Granted, they're like an hour and a half each, but these are, I think, like 5-hour-long episodes, and it ends on a cliffhanger. So, and it's not like a huge cliffhanger, but it's enough to where I'm like, wow, like what happens next? I'm not gonna say anything. I don't want to give anything away, but I would like to have seen at least another season.
There's an episode of The Big Bang Theory where Sheldon is trying to contact the guy, the showrunner, I think, or the writer for Alphas, to find out how it was going to end, because they just canceled the show without ending it.
Oh, right.
And at the very end, he's like, he finally gets in touch with him, and he's like, yeah, no wonder you guys got canceled. That sucked.
Yeah. But no, like I don't know. I enjoy the show. I recommend it. At least watch the first episode, see what you think. It's only an hour. Maybe find something to do during that time so you don't feel like it's time wasted.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to rate it on a flying saucer scale?
I'd give it a 4 for me.
That's Brad, that's out of 5,
it's out of 5,
Yeah,
right?
out of 5.
Okay. It's like, wait, I say I give it a 4 and I'm like, wait, is that out of 5? Because it's 4 out of 5. Okay.
My pick is a radio interview with Mr. Carl Sagan, and this is actually inspired by my pick from last week, which was a documentary hosted by that actor. What's his name? Not Hughes. Help me out. My brain needs your assistance.
The actor?
World of Worlds actor.
Oh, Orson Welles?
Yeah, Orson Welles. Okay, so on that documentary last week, that was from like 1975, Carl Sagan was one of the people that was shown. So I was given this link, or a link to this interview by Daryl Johnston, Galactic Netcast contributor, host of Who News and Reviews, and Sci-Fi Survival Guide at gncasts.com. It's from the website motherboard.vice.com. It's a new PBS blank on blank series, The Experimenters. It's dedicated to uncovering interviews with the icons of science, technology, and innovation. As part of their initiative, they discovered this rare conversation between Carl Sagan and Studs Terkel about mankind's place in the universe and our ongoing search for extraterrestrial life. The interview was done in 1985, the same year as the release of Contact, the science fiction novel, and later inspiration for the film of the same name that he wrote with his wife. We'll put the link to, of course, we always put the links to our picks and warnings in the show notes, but I highly encourage you to check this out. It's very short, probably about 7 minutes or so, maybe 10, I forget. But it's interesting. He talks about how alien life is probably doesn't look like us. You know, there's all kinds of possibilities in the universe to how life is formed. And it's probably not bipedal, probably doesn't have 2 arms and 2 legs and 2 eyes. And so that part's kind of interesting. He also talks about religion, how all religions can't be right, because we all have, like, he talks specifically about the age of the earth and how the Christian, Judaism, and Islam religions all think that the earth is like 6,000 some years old, and science can basically debunk that and say, no, it's not 6,000 years old. And he then goes off and talks about, was it Hinduism, where Hinduism believes that the universe has died and come back to life over and over again, which I thought was kind of interesting. So if you're into religious stuff, I'm not religious, particular religions, but spirituality and one man's opinion on religion and science and aliens, then you might find this interesting. It's an interview again with Carl Sagan from 1985, and we'll put the link in the show notes. You can check it out for yourself. Okay, Brad, bring it up the rear with your picks or warning.
Fair enough. All right. My pick is from the Supergirl show. Now,
I'm a little surprised that you would pick this because of your stance against CBS.
The only reason why I watched it is because of Flash.
Okay.
Otherwise, the show's okay. I don't mind the show. It was actually a very, very good episode, and I enjoyed it very much. It was refreshing to... Typically, if you do a comic book or, as we're going to see in Civil War, when heroes meet, they seem to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a long, lengthy battle, and then there's common ground found and apologies, and then they get on to business.
AKA Batman versus Superman that came out. You didn't see.
I wasn't going to say anything, but yes.
Spoilers.
So this is like the complete opposite of that film.
Yes, it is absolutely the antithesis of said film.
Details.
And some of the bits of the show are typical. It was like watching a CW show. I'm not going to lie. It really.
You have to mention the line of dialogue by Cat Grant.
Yes,
that in particular.
So, okay, the episode essentially is Supergirl dealing with, in the previous episode, she was exposed to red kryptonite, and as that happens, she did evil things, as it were, or things that are not normal to Supergirl. So she's kind of in the doghouse with National City, which is the city that she is living and working in. Now, she works for Cat Grant, who is a media mogul in National City.
Is that a character from the comics, by the way? I don't. Okay.
Yes, it is. Cat Grant was... I know at one point she was a TV anchor in Metropolis, but this was like 80s, 70s, 80s Superman.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think they actually talk about that on the show. Her former career as a television reporter.
Okay. So Supergirl is out doing her thing, and she... Or no, that's what happened. A woman that used to work for Cat Grant is very upset, and she's starting to develop strange powers. And she actually hits Kara Danvers, which is the secret identity of Supergirl, with this sonic blast from her voice, and knocks her out of the one of the top stories of the building of Cat Grant's media empire, her skyscraper. And as she's falling, of course, she's Supergirl, but out of nowhere comes this no pun intended really, but this bright flash, and all of a sudden there's the Flash, and he runs up the side of the building, grabs her, and or makes an attempt to grab her, whatever, it doesn't matter. And they go, "Hey, who are you?" And "Hey, who are you?" And Barry finds out that he's traveled to another Earth. Can
I interrupt for one quick second?
Sure.
He does grab her and takes her out to the desert.
That's right, because it's like out into like a plains, like a flat rural area, and he said that his speed has increased, so he didn't realize that he had overshot that far, so that they were out in the middle of nowhere. That's right. And he is wearing, it's actually like a piece of equipment that Dr. Wells had in the first season to kind of harness and channel Speed Force energy. So he is in an active attempt to increase his speed, and he accidentally broke the dimensional barrier.
And that's going to be covered in an episode of The Flash coming up. They're off sync. They're not coordinated with each other.
Yeah, I found that a little weird. It's like, when did he do that? I guess we'll find out next week that he did that. Anyways, what's beautiful is, especially for hardcore comic nerds, to watch Barry, he reveals himself, and then not in that fashion, he reveals that he is Barry Allen and finds out that there is no Flash on this planet, this particular Earth. And then he proceeds to talk to, as Cat Grant described the group of Jimmy Olsen, Wynn, Kara Danvers, and himself as a ethnically diverse CW cast, which is, going back to what you were saying. So yes, they did have a poke at CW's expense. But Barry describes to the other people the concept of a multiverse, and he's drawing like 5 circles, and he's like, imagine an Earth where everybody's evil, and I've been to that place, it sucks. And here's one where Hitler won the war, and here's one, and he's describing these different Earths that have existed in the classic DC universe. So it was kind of a nice tip of the hat to comic nerds. But as this whole thing kind of unfolds, we get a team up, and the name of the episode is World's Finest. And there was a series of comics, DC comics, where it was like a Batman Superman team up, and it was World's Finest. So
there's a slight difference in spelling between the comic book series and the title of this episode.
Yes, this one is plural. The other one, or yes, it is plural worlds.
Yep.
As opposed to a possessive World's Finest.
Yep. Sorry. Go ahead.
And no, they. Yes, you do it. It's adorable. They, like I said, there's no fighting. They just team up, and they do the thing, and a couple of villains team up. It was interesting that the actress who plays Livewire, for people that enjoyed the short-lived series Middleman that was on ABC, oh gosh, in the early to mid 2000s, actually mid to late 2000s. Nope, early to mid 2000s. It was an exceptional show, and it was based on a comic book, so it was kind of cool to see her taking on this character called Livewire and doing another comic thing. And she did very well playing a villain. I did not like her wig, so kind of much like the complaints that people have with Oliver's wig when his hair is long. She's got a wig that's not so good, but otherwise,
thank God they got rid of that damn wig.
Yeah, I was very happy when they did that. Long story short, Flash and Supergirl team up. They defeat the villains, and Supergirl sort of accidentally or unintentionally redeems herself with the citizens of National City. And to kind of... There's been a long-standing DC thing where people have asked the question, who's faster, the Flash or Superman? So in this, at the end of the episode, we get the obligatory race, but the race has a purpose, and I'm not going to give away why. It's important, but it was cool that they incorporated this thing, and it had an actual purpose to why they were doing it. So.
And with the Berlanti-verse shows, like they did when they introduced Jay Garrick on The Flash, they duplicated the cover of World's Finest with, instead of Superman and The Flash, it's Supergirl and Flash from the image, the official image for the artwork for the show.
And I would watch this show when it hits Netflix, but just out of principle, I would not watch it on CBS.
It's good. It's not as good as The Flash or Arrow. It's almost overly fun. It's overly happy at times. It's like, and you could tell it's a CBS show and not a CW show.
Yeah, it does have a different feel because Berlanti's a part of it. It's not as jarring as, I gotta say, some of the Arrow Flash team ups are a little jarring, just because of the tone difference. The tone of Arrow is very dark and brooding, and the tone of the Flash is very, very upbeat and maudlin at times, but it's still upbeat, which fits the characters. The writing and the tone of the show fits the characters in the comic book, and I think the tone was right for Supergirl and Flash. I don't see the Arrow traveling to see Supergirl and have that not seem really weird.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a Felicity smoke centered. I think Felicity has an easier time because of the character that she is, appearing on the Flash and fitting the tone.
Mm-hmm.
But once you throw Oliver in there, it can get kind of weird. So
you're gonna give this a how many flying saucers are you gonna give this?
I am gonna give this 4.5 flying saucers.
Okay. I forgot to give my rating too. I'm gonna give mine a 3 out of 5. So I think we did pretty well this week.
Yeah, we did not see any abominations, and that's a good thing.
All right, there you go. We'll put our links to our picks and warnings in the show notes, and you can check them out for yourself.
Oh no, Dave got bumped out.
He's having computer issues.
Oh boy.
Are we still on YouTube?
Yeah, we're still live, but Dave got bumped out. Well, I guess we'll just keep going here. You can subscribe to our podcast via iTunes. If you like what you hear, you can give us a 5-star rating. That would be iTunes. If you're using Stitcher, thumbs up, thumbs down on the particular episode. And you can leave a comment on this episode there as well. And all subscription options and links can be found under the subscribe tab at gncasts.com. So you can also leave us feedback. There we go. Dave is back.
Oh no.
Nope, we're still recording. We're still live.
All right. Well, I was in the middle of talking. I didn't realize I was not there. So I was kind of wrapping things up, and I asked for
That's what Brad was doing.
Yeah.
Your final thought, Brad.
See, now I'm completely thrown off. Supergirl is relatively okay. Like I said, I would check it out on Netflix, but I'll be damned if I'll give CBS my $5 a month for their CBS All Access. They can eat a bug.
All right, fair enough. Anessa, what's your final thought?
Thanks again to TC for letting me share a story.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, and thank you guys for listening. Until next time, this has been the Alien Invasion on Galactic Netcasts, and we'll talk to you in the future.
In the future.
Or the past.
Wait, what? You've blown my mind.
Recording.
Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye.
Best ending ever.